BEIN TV, connected to your world.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of BEIN News Updates. We bring you all the news stories making headlines during the week, broadcasting from Benab House, Atomic Junction, Medina. My name is Khadija Tukubra Keilani. We are streaming live also on Facebook and YouTube at BEIN TV. Now here are some top stories of the week. Former President John Dramani Mahama has officially filed his nomination forms to contest the NDC flag bearership race, and the IMF has also indicated that it is necessary for Ghana to secure financing assurance from its partners. And also in some international stories, Zimbabwe to offer public servants 100% pay rise, and the All Progressive Congress Presidential Campaign Council has debunked speculations that President-elect Bola Tinubu has been rushed abroad for medical treatment. We bring you details of the stories in a moment. Now the stories in details. Former President John Dramani Mahama has officially filed his nomination form to contest the National Democratic Congress flag bearership race. A month after picking the nomination form, the campaign manager of the former president in the 2020 elections, Professor Joshua Alabi, led a team to submit the completed forms on behalf of Mr. Mahama at the party's headquarters in Accra.
Professor Joshua Alabi was accompanied by party bigwigs, including the former Deputy Chief of Staff, Dr. Valerie Soya, the Member of Parliament for Ablekuma South, Alfred Okovandapoe, the immediate past Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Peter Boama Otukono. The General Secretary of the party, Fifi Fiavi received the completed nomination forms, giving an indication that the former president had cleared that hurdle and could now prepare for voting. He was flanked by members of the Election Management Committee led by Kakra Samwa, who doubles as the Communications Director of the party.
On behalf of the National Democratic Congress, on behalf of all the leaders at the national and at the functional level, I want to congratulate you, Prof, on behalf of the candidate John Dramani Mahama for having gone through the very rigorous assignment of going through the process of going through all your forms, getting all the necessary endorsements, and being able today to submit all of them in good time. We want to give you an assurance that we are determined as a party to provide a very level playing field for all the contestants and ensure that at the end of the day, whoever emerges represent the true aspiration of the millions of our supporters. We believe that so far the campaigning has been very well. Our guidelines have been pretty much adhered to, and we expect that that will continue between now all the way to May 13th, when we can have the presidential primaries that will bring about the emergence of who is the right person to be leading our party come the general elections 2024.
Professor Alabi urged NDC delegates to give John Dramani Mahama a 99% endorsement to become the flag bearer of the party.
We shall go around the length and breadth of this country to talk to our people. Even with 51%, he has won. 60%, he has won. 70%, he has won. 80%, 90%, he has won. But we want 99.999% to send a song stringer to our opponents that our party is firmly united behind His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Other contestants in the race, former governor of the Bank of Ghana, Kwabena Dufo, and Escobia Asante and Kojo Bonsu, have also officially filed their nomination forms at the party's headquarters to contest.
Still on Mahama, former President John Dramani Mahama has recommended that an explicit public funding of political parties bill be put before Parliament in future to deal with issues surrounding funding for political parties. According to him, while there is still support for the state to fund the activities of political parties, he argues that taking into consideration the current physical climate in the country, such an option is not a viable one.
According to former President John Dramani Mahama, the public funding of political parties bill would have to be bipartisan and inclusive in order for all issues surrounding political party financing to be covered appropriately. This, he said, is to prevent the current godfatherism that is characterizing Ghana's political landscape.
On government support for funding political parties, some have argued that the only funding that may be advanced to parties and cannot be concealed in secrecy is public funding of these parties. This refers to government giving financial resources or indirect assistance to political parties. As mentioned, in the absence of such support and given the huge cost of political activities, wealthy party financiers take over as political godfathers who determine electoral outcomes and all that follows it.
John Mahama was delivering a keynote address at the University of Professional Studies, Accra, on the theme Financing Political Campaigns, the Ghana We Want, the case for a more transparent and broad-based citizen participation. He was also launching his JM 2024 fundraising platform to help raise funds for his presidential bid in the upcoming general elections.
On government support for funding political parties, some have argued that the only funding that may be advanced to parties and cannot be concealed in secrecy is public funding of these parties. This refers to government giving financial resources or indirect assistance to political parties. As mentioned, in the absence of such support and given the huge cost of political activities, wealthy party financiers take over as political godfathers who determine electoral outcomes and all that follows it. And as I stated earlier, because of our current economic crisis, additional state financing may not be a viable option at this time. Even if that became an option in the future, I recommend that we put in place an explicit public funding of political parties bill in a bipartisan and inclusive manner to regulate this phenomenon. I further recommend that should public funding of political parties be scaled up in the foreseeable future, then an independent and credible institution must be selected to administer the state resources advanced to political parties. In that regard, a sharing formula could be established to ensure fairness, and specific disclosure requirements on beneficiary parties must be imposed. This must be complemented by auditing and publication of party accounts.
He said even though he does not recommend additional state financing at this time of national economic meltdown, he believes a lot more is needed to be understood regarding how political parties are financed, since these could have implications on Ghana's developmental outcomes. He went further to stress the need to understand how politicians finance their campaigns for office and to whom they are indebted and are expected to repay. He also underscored the importance of engaging in sustained discussions as a means of building consensus on funding political parties within the context of public policy for promoting good governance and democratic practices in Ghana.
Away from that, the Minister for Education, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, has touted the achievements of the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government in the educational sector. According to him, the achievements of the Akufo-Addo government in the education sector is the best the country has had in the last 14 years.
Speaking to the media in Accra, the minister said that the policies of Akufo-Addo have resulted in an unprecedented rate of transitioning of students to the various levels of education in the country. The minister added that people who want to contest the fact that Akufo-Addo's government has been superior in the educational sector should check the records, which he said are sacred and do not lie.
Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's achievement in education is uncontestable. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's achievement in education is unmatched. In the last 14 years, great improvement has been made in the field of education in this country. Let me share some data with you. 2015, you look at placement and enrollment in senior high schools. 2015, 299,649 enrolled in senior high school. 2022, 465,000 students enrolled in senior high schools. These are facts. You cannot contest this. The good people of Ghana knows that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is moving full steam ahead in education transformation.
The minister made these claims during an engagement with some school placement call center personnel, where he applauded the work of the call center in ensuring the concerns of parents and candidates are resolved. The education minister encouraged parents of students who gained admission to senior high schools to take their wards to school, even though they had not had the full complement of their prospectus.
Because you are waiting to get all the prospectus items, I want you to know that my headmasters want to see you at school immediately. So even if you don't have all the items, go to school. The headmasters can't wait to see you and welcome you to their schools. They don't want you to stay at home. Go to school with the little that you have. And if you are determined, one day you will tell your story of how you went to your Odogono with your one shirt, one shorts, and the government gave you your uniforms, and then you say the rest is history. You tell the world that you didn't wait till you got all your items, and yet you went. So parents, send your children to school. Let's take advantage of the opportunity presented to us by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's government, and let us all embrace the free senior high school free TVET, so you can change the future of your children, change the future of your family, and change the future of this great nation called Ghana.
Dr. Yao Oseduchum took the opportunity to react to former President Mohammed's comments on his threats to close down underperforming schools if they do not improve in educational outcomes.
A certain president famously made a statement that you have not been a president before. You can't question him, you can't engage him. But this same person, now a former president, is trying to engage me, a minister, and I've never been a president before. So I really don't understand why I'm being engaged. So my name has popped up in the media these days. But I want to tell you one thing. Records are sacred. Anybody want to contest it, check your data, come back and tell us who has done better in education in this country. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo record is unmatched. So if anybody wants to engage me as the Minister for Education, I don't have any record of my own. I have the record of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
And still on politics, entertainment and media entrepreneur Baba Sadiq has launched his bid to become the parliamentary candidate of the NDC for the Okankwe Central on March 2023. He filed his nomination for the parliamentary primaries for the constituency, which is slated for May 13. In attendance were Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram Samuel Nate George, constituency executives and other NDC faithfuls.
At launch, the MP for the Ningo Pram Samuel Nate George said it's about time the NDC in the Okankwe Central wins the seat from the incumbent MP Patrick Boama. He said it is important for the NDC in the constituency to stay united and work towards victory 2024 for both the Okankwe Central parliamentary seat and presidential contest.
It is time for us to win this constituency. When I was entering the constituency, I called my brother Patrick
For his part, the former Deputy Information Minister James Jenin Boatin urged NDC delegate in Okankwe Central to give Baba Sadiq the chance to lead the party. He said he believes Baba Sadiq has the competence to lead the NDC to win the Okankwe Central constituency seat. Addressing delegates, Baba Sadiq touted his competence and qualities as key attributes needed for a candidate to win the Okankwe Central seat. He added that he would engage the delegates to convince them to vote for him.
Munzo branches munzo musamo and engagement in them. So but I'm goda muso in aikin na muka shagaba make so mu yi mubasu yan party mubasu yan constituency bayan sun ba mu mandate in them. Amma yanzu shi wanga is the most important step. Muna neman mandate su. Shi aduwa mu ne munzo ju su muka zo muna neman mandate su ba su ba mu mandate mu yi aiki. Win primary city na ko mu win Okankwe Central City. The advice in dan doke shi from leader mu His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The AJ Kumasi meche musu. We muna neman competent and winnable candidates. That's a very strong advice. Onkuka samu a competent and a winnable candidate. Come on, Baba Sadiq. Check Kuduba kan na JM ya advice na. Kuduba unko vote JM on May 13 JM za. Check vote Kuba Baba Sadiq zu. Unko vote Kuba.
Some supporters of Baba Sadiq shared their thoughts and support.
Supporting she because he's a young soul, a young guy, hardworking, and we are sure we have an assurance. Come on, like she they chigaba ye mamu youth now. Yatanye mu musamu te moko da abinda muke so mu ma muzama da kannimu ya nimu momi mu yaram mu muna da vision kama she they ya karbi seat na hannun Patrick Buama.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Kaman kallon mu duka muka sani yau abinda muka ganin ga ciwo ido ne ba ciwon ciki bane. Yau NDC Okankwe Central in ka duba kaman kan da aka ce wai new hope. NDC Okankwe Central kullum sun mai da kansu kaman mu za mu je ne za mu present just a piece ba mu je mu win ba saboda kananan magana da ce kuce yayi yawa amma with the leadership of Baba Sadiq insha Allah inda an vote mai ya emerge winner as the parliamentary candidate zai win ya kuma je win ya zama member of parliament constituency na inda ake bidan constituency ne kai insha Allah constituency ne ya kai don ka duba irin expertise da Baba Sadiq yake da shi da irin hankali da hikiman da Allah ya bashi in ya zo ya zama member of parliament wanga constituency.
And away from that, the new Yambonra Bikunutu Jewu Swale has been outdoored at the Japa Palace in Damango at a colorful ceremony on March 21. This follows his enskillment on Monday, March 20, as the 34th Yangwanwura at Inyagi, the ancient capital of Gonja, in accordance with time-tested traditions.
Jiwa Bikunutu Jewu Swale was enskilled as paramount chief of Tuluwe traditional area in April 2020, making him the next in line for the Yagbon scheme. The king's makers of Yagbonwura announced he will be the next Yagbonwura following the demise of Tuntumba Borisa. Paramount chiefs and overlords from other traditional areas, Vice President Dr. Mahmudu Baumia and former President John Dramani Mahama were among the dignitaries who graced the ceremony. The new Yagbonwura said he is committed to holding Gunjaland together and called on stakeholders to support the palace as they work to develop the area. The Yagbonwura, in a speech read for him by his spokesperson, Saka Seydou Bakari, called on all stakeholders to support the palace to accelerate the development of the area. The Yagbonwura assured he will take steps to amicably settle territorial disputes with other traditional areas. Former President John Dramani Mahama, on his part, applauded the Gunjaland area for the time-tested peaceful transitions from one Yagbonwura to the other.
People get injured and people can even be killed before they are able to escape a new chief. It is not so in Gonjaland, and I'm proud of that. tradition, and that system has served. And I wish to enjoin our chiefs and the custodians of our tradition that we must endeavor to ensure that this rotational system survives forever and ever. On this occasion, I wish to state that as the secretary who read the speech of the Gikora said, he has a very onerous responsibility. I'm led to believe that Gonjaland is the largest traditional area in Ghana. And so the territory over which he has jurisdiction is very large. And I'm very happy with the commitment he made that he was going to take action to ensure that the various chieftaincy disputes and territorial disputes are settled amicably. First, our brothers and sisters, indeed all the people with whom we share traditional boundaries with are our brothers and sisters. There's no need for us to have conflict because of land disputes. And so I wish to beg the Gregora to make it one of his priorities that these chieftaincy and land disputes with our neighbors are settled amicably without any bloodshed or conflict.
The Baba Cup Foundation International has organized a training for young girls at Nima on the theme Menstrual Hygiene and Self-Care During Puberty. The program aimed at educating young girls on how to take care of themselves during menstruation.
Very prominent people from the Zinga community saw people such as Sheikh Hussein Yusuf Mahmoud, who was a chairperson for the occasion. Sheikh Hussein Yusuf spoke on the agenda and activities of the Baba Cup Foundation and how they help schools and others.
Wannan association mu muna neman moraya da mutane, muna da uslubin da muke ce Maslow hierarchy of needs, wurin kwana, abinci, taimakon yara daga education, sa'ilin nan samun kai da kanka ka san kai wane ne, saboda shi muka form foundation taimakan yan uwa a cikin zamantakewanka, education ka, health wise, sannan da wurin abinci.
One of the organizers of the program, Abu Zaid Muhammad, spoke on how the foundation wants to help people in the Zinga community, especially in the aspect of education, food and other areas.
Manufan wanga kungiya Baba Cup Foundation manufan mu ne cikin zangonnan mu an bar mu baya, abin da yasa ake cewa an bar mu baya, muna da marayu, muna da nakasassu da ba su da iko. Shine yanzu muka hada kanmu da jagorancin mai gidan mu Baba Cup Foundation, Baba Cup. Muna so mu hada kanmu ne mu taimake zangonnan mu. Aka ce zangonnai ba ana nufi musulmai kada ba, Christians ne ke cikin zangonnan mu duka, mu da su duka abu ɗaya ne. Muna so mu taimake ƴan waye mu mata in case of wurin al'adan jikinsu da wurin abinci da shanin ilimin su, shine abin ga schools. So da yawa kaga iyayen mu da an hayyafa yara ba su da ikon zuwa makaranta, ce yasa muna so muka kafa wanga kungiya ne da manufan mu kaman in Allah ya yarda da ikon Allah ya ba mu ƴaƴan mu da ba su zuwa makaranta, mun taimaka musu, mun nemi masu taimako daga kasan waje Ghana ne su mara muna baya mu taimaki yara saboda rayuwarsu ya inganta ya ci gaba.
The welfare officer for Greater Accra Council of Zinga Chiefs, Alhaji Chief Tanko Ibrahim, advised parents to pay very good attention to their kids, most importantly the girls.
Ana ba mu yaran mata riko da maza, amma karshe a samu yaran matan nan suna kinji, ce ga uwa ko uba wannan gaba riko, ce su kace da yaron gaba da kanshi ma fitinan shi ya cika yawa. A kai da aka baka rikon kai ne baka da gaskiya. Da farko
Have for you on our news update. For more stories, log on to our website www.beinaMultimedia.com. My name is Khadija Tukubra Keilani. Many thanks for doing the watching. Have a good evening.